Welcome to the Truckers Network radio show on tncradio.live, where we offer the news, weather, traffic, information, and entertainment our commercial drivers want and need. I'm your host, Shelley Johnson. Do you love the classic sounds of Frankie Valli, the Drifters, and the Dell Vikings? Ever wonder what Maroon 5 would sound like if they'd lived in the Doo Wop era? In their epic shows, the Doo Wop Project takes audiences on a journey from foundational tunes of groups like the Crests, Belmonts, and the Flamingos, through their influences on the sounds of Smokey Robinson, the Temptations, and the Four Seasons, all the way to Doo-Wopified versions of modern musicians like Michael Jackson and the Maroon 5. The Doo Wop Project offers music that brings you back with incredible music arrangements and performances you've never heard performed this way. They seriously engage an audience. With us today are Charl Brown and Dwayne Cooper from the Doo Wop Project. Charl was nominated for a Tony Award for Best Featured Actor for his role as Smokey Robinson in Motown the Musical. He reprised this role on the opening of the London's West End production in 2016. He's also featured on the Grammy-nominated original broadcast recording. Dwayne the Bass is often referred to as a modern-day Sammy Davis Jr. who meets Barry White. He's performed in Broadway casts of Motown the Musical, Hairspray, and the production of Smokey Joe's Cafe. Both Charl and Dwayne are mega entertainers with amazing backgrounds, and I wanted to learn more. Thank you, Charl and Dwayne, for being on the show with me today.
Thanks for having us. Yeah, thank you.
Before we get into your individual backgrounds, which are amazing, I thought we'd begin with you telling us about how the Doo Wop Project began. I love the name, by the way. I think that audiences already know you're in for a good time. You want to get up and dance.
So we've all been professional actors for a very long time, and we all met on Broadway. So the majority of us met doing Jersey Boys on Broadway, and Dwayne was across the street doing Hairspray, the musical. And subsequently, after Jersey Boys, Dwayne and myself and one of the other members, Dominic Nolfi, did Motown the musical on Broadway as well. So that's how we originally met. We thought we would get together and sort of form a side group to do things, to perform places while we weren't performing on Broadway or on stages across the country. And that side project has sort of turned and blossomed into this major project where we now have toured all over the country and across the ocean to places like China and Bermuda. And of course, we've been to Canada as well with the symphonies there. And we're now having a PBS special that's airing all across the nation as well. So this side job turned into a major project.
That's a good thing, though. I mean, it means that people really love what you're doing.
Yeah, I think that we even though we are on the younger end of the generation, as far as doo-wop is concerned, we all have a great and love and appreciation for it. And we really wanted to kind of figure out how can we as the young generation keep this music alive and put it out there into the world, because it's really important to us. And like Charles said, the other members were in the Broadway cast of Jersey Boys, and I was fortunate enough to join with them, and we've been traveling for about 10 years with this band. So it just goes to show you that the love of the music is still there, and that the younger folks like ourselves are still on board and want to learn more about it as we are still learning, and we want to pass it on to even the younger generation that's below us, so that they really understand and appreciate the core of the things that are inspiring them now when they create music.
Absolutely. And what a wonderful way to honor some fabulous musicians and entertainers in a genre of music. It really is. It's so much America. And
very much so.
It influenced so many generations, and to keep it alive, that's so important when you think about it. And I know a lot of our listeners can definitely appreciate that. So is there a way to describe the Doo Wop Project? What do you do differently?
Well, our Dwayne here, who is our bass man, he came up with a great term that we like to use, which is Doo-Wopified. So
I like that.
Yeah. So on top of covering the classic sounds and the classic songs from the doo-wop era, we've also touched upon modern songs and give them a doo-wop twist so that we can sort of bridge the gap between the old school with the new generation, which actually is the title of our new album.
I love it.
Yeah.
And we are very much influenced by the older generation. And so what we try to do is we want to maintain the integrity of the music, and also infuse our own different personalities into the group and our performances. So when you are watching the show, as there are folks who are older than us that may see, hints of Jackie Wilson or Harvey Fuqua or, Ronnie Bright from the Coasters, or, even Smokey Robinson, who Charl does impeccably well when he's singing his songs. So we just really want to find out how we can keep this integrity while also infusing our own personal touch to it as well.
Sure. Your music is just awesome. Let's listen to one of your fabulous renditions of I Wonder Why.
Know why I love you like I do. Know why I do. Don't know why I love you. Don't know why I care. I just want your love to share. I wonder why I love you like I do. Is it because you say you love me too? I wonder why I love you like I do, like I do. I told my friends that we would never part. They often said that you would break my heart. I wonder why they think that we will part. We will part. When you're with me, I'm sure you're always true. When you're away, I wonder what you lose. I wonder why, I'm sure you're always true, always true. Why I do. Thank you so much.
I was looking at your website, and it looks like you seriously engage an audience. You're all over the place. Oh my goodness, it's great.
Yeah, I can't help it.
Oh.
I'm very much an interactive performer. It's, unfortunately the pandemic for a while had us, stuck in our homes, and that was
Yeah.
very difficult, not only for us as performers, but for our audiences. We love to be connected to our audiences, and I love to run through the crowd and have those moments that feel nostalgic for a lot of them, but feels very personal to me, because we're living in times where we don't always feel connected as a human race, and so to be able to have 90 minutes where everyone is on the same page and listening to this music and enjoying the harmonies and dancing together, and and even chuckling at me running around. I might, grab a purse or a cane or something in the middle of a number. We're all just trying to keep love and joy alive, and this music definitely helps with that.
Oh, it's so needed. And there's something about music, it really unifies people. It's a common
Yes, it does.
language that the whole world understands.
Yeah, and at the core of doo-wop music, and at the core of most songs, is love. Whether it be romantic love, or the love of a child, the love of a parent, or just the love of friendship. Or love lost, which is a form of love as well, or sorrow or grief. That's also expression of love. I think that's what unites us as human beings, and which is
Yep.
why doo-wop music has lasted for as long as it does, and why we're trying to keep it alive, because the concept were just so simple, and it's something we can all relate to, especially a
Sure.
lot of us teenage love, which is, a lot of doo-wop music is centered in
Oh,
the
yeah.
idea of fresh and new love. And so that's why I think it hits home with everyone, because we've all loved in our lives. That's part of why we're here to begin
Uh-huh.
with.
Absolutely.
It's also a testament to the unity, because our group is, it's a mix of races. We're not the first integrated group, of course. Like the Vikings, definitely put their stamp on that. But
Mm-hmm.
we're honoring that as well,
Yeah.
with our group. And so it's just great to be on stage and for the audience to see the tapestry of brotherhood there.
Yeah. I mean, the diversity brings a richness that is so important, and it's wonderful that you're doing this with doo-wop and in your great renditions. My question is, for maybe the listeners who aren't familiar, I would think they would be, is there a definition of doo-wop? I mean, what is considered doo-wop? Is there one?
Well, I mean, I personally think it's a blend of rhythm and blues,
Mm-hmm.
and I like to also think that it started in African American culture, but
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
it was also integrated amongst everyone else, and jazz and bebop, those sounds, like it influenced just the idea of these tight harmonies and the ability to be able to bring a high countertenor and a low bass, and to bring those worlds together and do it harmonically without instruments.
Sure.
I think that is what I feel is like the core of what the doo-wop sound and the lineage of it is for me.
I love harmony. Go ahead, Charl. Sorry.
And the name doo-wop, I think comes from the sounds that are being made by the singers. Oftentimes this music was originally rooted sort of on the street corners, with artists and singers who didn't necessarily have access to instruments, or just didn't have them available at the time that they were making their music, gathering
Right.
together on the street corner. So that's kind of where the title, I think, comes from, is the making of the sounds of instruments with the voice.
And, I think people are amazed when they hear really good harmony and what the human voice can do.
Yeah.
It
Yep.
really, it's astounding. And then to add the energy you folks have interacting with the audience and entertaining, I would imagine being in Broadway, that helped a lot for you to do that.
Yeah, we all have great careers, and we've all done, live musical theater for decades. And so I feel like that has given us the foundation to be the musicians that we are. And that musicianship is what we get to bring to the stage, alongside of, we tour with a 5-piece band, headed up by our musical director, Sonny Palladino, and some of the best musicians in this country, most of which play currently on Broadway and take time off to come and tour with us at times. And then other times we get to pick up local musicians from, the towns that we're touring to, sort of provide an opportunity for them, and to have a sort of a hometown element to the music that we're creating in that town. And so I think, but that musicianship is what, allows us to be successful at recreating this sound and also reinventing the sound, because we're all, live musicians, and we do this every day, nightly, for a living.
Sure. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of the listeners would want to know, how do you have the energy to do all of this?
I always tell people God and genetics. Like,
There you go.
yeah, I mean, but just to piggyback off of what you were saying earlier about Broadway, like Broadway helps you create this discipline, and
Yes.
build the stamina. You're doing shows 8 times a week. You're doing the steps 8 times a week, and you're building that stamina. And I think that's what helps us keep the endurance. It also keeps us in a professional mindset, showing up on time,
Right.
and having, a professional attitude in and out. We do travel a lot in different venues, and we have some accommodations that are, that may be a little trickier than others. And when
we just roll with the punches.
Yeah, you learn how
Do
to
you have
roll
any
with the
stories
punches.
on that? I bet you've got some.
We have too many to discuss.
Yeah, it makes
sometimes your
life
dressing room is a bathroom. Sometimes your dressing room is the women's locker room at a high school. Sometimes,
But this is the root of of how, you know, these bands started. You know, they didn't have, you know, 5-star accommodations. You know, they
Right.
were. You think about Motown, you think about, you know, the groups like the Skyliners and the Ravens, and they were traveling around in all these different places, you know, and they were singing harmonies in the car on the way there, you know, and creating new sounds. And so we want to remember that as we talk about these current situations that have been afforded to us, that they didn't have a lot of the things that we didn't have. And so
Sure.
we always try to honor that as well when we're thinking about these things. And yeah, it's just something that, like, we're in the car, you know, we have a gig and we're trying to learn a song, you know, we try to flesh out harmonies on the bus, on the van, when we're traveling to other areas. And it's just great to keep that perspective, you know.
Absolutely. Before we go to break, I want our listeners to be able to listen to another great rendition from your group. This one's a classic. I Only Have Eyes for You. Let's listen.
I only have eyes for you, dear. My love must be a kind of blind love. I can't see anyone but you. Shabab, shabab. Do, do, do. Shabab, shabab. Do, do, do. Shabab, shabab. Are the stars out tonight? Do, do, do. Shabab, shabab. I don't know if it's cloudy or bright. I only have eyes for you. The moon may be high, but I can't see a thing in the sky. I only have eyes for you. I don't know if we're in a garden on a crowded avenue. You are here, so am I. Maybe millions of people go by, but they all disappear from you. And I only have eyes for you. For you. For you.
Dominic Mosley, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
Trucking Moves America Forward, or TMAF, is building a positive image of trucking by telling the story of the hardworking drivers and industry professionals who support the industry. And you can be a part of it. Learn more about TMAF and how you can join and be a part of the industry movement working to build a strong image of trucking by visiting TMAF's website at truckingmovesamerica.com. You can also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and our latest channel, TikTok. Welcome back to the Truckers Network radio show on tncradio.live. I'm Shelley Johnson. I have the pleasure of speaking with Charl Brown and Dwayne Cooper from the Doo Wop Project. We just listened to their fabulous performance of I Only Have Eyes for You. Oh my goodness, it was great. Charl and Dwayne, the arrangements you folks have are absolutely dynamic. Do you all get together and come up with these different arrangements? I know you said you have a new album out.
Yeah, so we have our third studio album, which is available on iTunes and Spotify and Google Play and all of the streaming platforms, just FYI for your listeners. And when we're putting together a new album, so we are very fortunate for this to be our third studio album, as I said, but we also have two, or actually three symphony shows as well.
Awesome.
One of which being Christmas and one of our studio albums being a Christmas album. So, we've had to get together at those times to create those songs and, Doo-Wopified the pop songs and or the Christmas tunes that we do. And so, in those times we'll have, two or three meetings. We'll choose the songs that we think will work. Then we'll start to, hum through some possibilities. We'll go step away, and our musical director, Sonny Palladino, will come back to us with some arrangements. Then each of us will have some input and some tweaks on what we think could go better here or there. And next thing you know, it's magic. The way that we work together, especially since we've been touring together for 10 years, we know each other's voices so well and distinctly, which is why we can harmonize so easily together. And I think that shows through our music on stage as well as in our recordings.
Sure.
And we're also trying to, I'm sorry.
No, that symbiosis is so important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're also trying to keep in mind what our audiences want to hear as well. We try to take suggestions from the crowds, and I personally try to keep in mind of our younger crowds, like what are they listening to today? Like on our albums, you can hear Bruno Mars, Jason Mraz, Amy Winehouse cover. So we try to keep it like a current throwback, so to speak, and sort of doo-wopifying things, just so we keep the essence there, and we also kind of add something fresh so that maybe the older generation can say, "Whoa, I never thought I would listen to that song sounding like a doo-wop."
Absolutely,
that's great.
Well, and to make it modern, you're enticing a whole new audience, maybe generating some curiosity where they're like, this music's kind of cool. I think I'll check out some other stuff.
Yes,
exactly.
Yeah, because they say that, when people get into their 30s, they kind of stick with the music they grew up with rather than expanding their horizons.
Right.
Yes.
Which, I've never understood that, because music is just so cool. All different genres,
Absolutely.
So I thought I'd talk a little bit about your backgrounds. I don't know who wants to go first, but you both have amazing backgrounds. I'm wondering what got you into this.
Well, I'll go first if you don't mind, Charl. Like I started out actually as a young person in a a cappella Christian group. I was singing tenor at that time. I'm not singing tenor anymore, but but I started with that group and progressed to doing, chorus in middle school and high school and show choir and the like. And my mother had always played different genres of music in the house. Like, some of her favorites were Conway Twitty and Crystal Gale. And on a side, I save a side note story that I say for the show, but my mom actually dated one of the Drifters. But
very cool.
The full story for our show. But so I grew up, around all different types of music, and I originally wanted to be Bob Barker. That was my dream job.
Oh, okay.
I wanted to give away prizes, make people happy, and be on TV. And then I realized that what I really wanted to do is just be an all-around entertainer. So I graduated with a degree in theater. I had studied at Alvin Ailey. I didn't want to just be a dancer, so to speak. And I, again, wanted to be an all-around entertainer. I started doing musical theater, performing in other groups, and just discovered that even though I was listening to all of this music as a young person, I was finding myself doing more contemporary stuff. So when Motown came along and when Smokey Joe's came along, all of these songs came back. And
Mhm.
it just became kind of kismet to be a part of this group.
That had to
So,
have been a rush.
yeah,
Mm.
definitely. It's a full circle moment, and
Sure.
my mom really loves it, and she thinks she's Tina Turner, so that's a whole nother story.
Ah,
But
okay. But she's got to be super proud of you. That's very
oh
cool.
yeah, she is.
Mhm.
She is. She is. So
Excellent.
that's the short version.
Okay. How about
Yeah.
you, Charl?
So for me, I grew up singing in church. My grandmother insisted that I get into the choir at my church, and that's where I first found my love of music.
Uh-huh.
And from there, I've never stopped singing from that moment on. I found my voice, and I eventually, in the 8th grade, was admitted to the San Diego School of Creative and Performing Arts. San Diego is where I'm from originally.
Okay.
And that's where I found my love for theater and all things Broadway. Getting cast in my first musical in the 8th grade. It was a production of
Oh,
Annie. I
that
was
would
in
have
the
been fun.
ensemble.
Yeah.
And from then on, I decided that summer, actually, my parents took me to my first Broadway show, which was Jelly's Last Jam, starring
Mhm.
Savion Glover and Gregory Hines, the late great Gregory Hines, and Tanya Pinkins. And that moment struck a chord in me that I've never let go. Like I was like, this is what I want to do with my life. And so
Sure.
I focused all my energy on becoming an actor. So after I graduated from the Performing Arts School, I went to University of Southern California and earned a degree in theater there. Shortly after that, was lucky enough to tour Europe for 2.5 years during a production of the musical Hair.
Ooh,
And
cool.
having done that and surviving my first German winter, being from San Diego, California,
Oh, yeah.
I finally had the confidence to move to New York City, which was my original dream, of course. And so I moved to New York and finally made my Broadway debut after years of auditioning in the musical Sister Act, starring
That's a
Patina
great
Miller.
show.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
it was a great show. That was my Broadway debut. And then I got to do Jersey Boys on Broadway, which I had also done in Las Vegas prior to that for a year. And then I joined the Broadway company for a little stint, which is where I met the rest of the guys from the Doo Wop Project. And then Motown the Musical became my third Broadway show. And I got to go and not only do it on Broadway for 2 years, and I also got to open the West End production. And I did it out there in London for 6 months as well.
That's terrific. Oh, my goodness. There's nothing like having a wonderful career doing what you love, you know?
Amen.
Yes.
Yes, so true.
And you're making such a difference in people's lives because people walk out of your performance going, you know, I feel so much better.
We like to think so. Also, too, one of the things that always sticks with me is when people come up to us after the show, because oftentimes we'll go out into the lobby. We started doing this again, I should say, going out into the lobby and selling our merchandise and just meeting the people who took the time out to come and see us that night. And one of the consistent things we get back from the audience is, I felt like I was in high school again. And we can see people in the audience with their, husband or wife, and they, on particular songs, they'll hold each other's hand, or, they'll put the arm around the other when a particular song is being sung, and you can see that they're having a joint memory together.
Sure.
So that's always lovely to see that.
We get to, it's just the extended family that we actually get to create when we're traveling around. We get to perform and they get to enjoy it, but we also enjoy it too, because I can speak personally, like I met so many people that have invited me into their homes and spend time with their families, and they have become extended family members. Having dinner with a couple tomorrow that that have always been so supportive of us, and the missus is battling cancer right now, and it's just nice to be able to support each other in this way when the relationship goes beyond the stage, and it becomes something very genuine and palpable, and it's just a beautiful moment and time to be able to have these relationships that go past the stage.
This is
That's
wonderful.
what music can do. That's what music can do.
And you're unifying people. We need that so much today.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
You definitely touch people with your music. That's so terrific. And we've got another example of that to share. Let's listen to The Way You Make Me Feel.
Hey, pretty baby with the high heels on. You give me fever like I've never ever known. You're just a product of loveliness. I like the look of your walk, your talk, your dress. You give me fever from miles around. I pick you up in my car and we'll beat the town. Just kiss me, baby, and tell me twice that you're the one for me. The way you make me feel, you really turn me on. You knock me off of my feet now. My lonely days are gone. I never felt so in love before. Just promise, baby, that you'll love me forevermore. I swear I'm keeping you satisfied, 'cause you're the one for me. The way you make me feel, the way you make me feel, you really turn me on. You really turn me on. You knock me off of my feet now, baby. You knock me off my feet. My lonely days are gone. My lonely days are gone.
Ain't nobody's business. Ain't nobody's business. Ain't nobody's business. Ain't nobody's business but mine and my business.
Off my feet.
The way you make me feel.
My lonely days are gone.
All right, yeah.
Great leaders challenge their people not to stop at the first right answer. Tighten the Lug Nuts is the book that will help you move past that first right answer to be more effective, more productive, and more successful. This book serves as a blueprint that can be easily applied by leaders, entrepreneurs, truckers, owner-operators, all of us in our everyday lives. This is one of the best leadership books you can read to help you accelerate towards your personal and professional goals. Plus, a portion of the proceeds will be donated to truckerschristmasgroup.org. Visit TightenTheLugNuts.com to order your copy today. Welcome back to the Truckers Network radio show. I'm Shelley Johnson, and I'm speaking with Charl Brown and Dwayne Cooper from the Doo Wop Project. Charl and Dwayne, I wanted to be sure that our listeners learn about everyone who's in your group, so everyone gets recognized. Who's all in the Doo Wop Project?
So we have John Michael Dias, who was in Carole King's Beautiful on Broadway. He also played Frankie Valli in Jersey Boys on Broadway. He is one of our, of course, our countertenors, one of our high singers. The other countertenor we have is Russell Fisher, who also was in Jersey Boys on Broadway for 6 years. He played Joe Pesci and understudied the role of Frankie Valli and went on quite a bit for that part. And, the two of them in our show get to to go back and forth on a couple of Four Seasons tunes, which is really exciting for the audience and for us too, because they both sing like angels and they get to sing together, which is incredible. And then we also have, rounding out the group is Dominic Nolfi, who is really he's like our leader. We call him Dad. He drives the van whenever we're traveling, and he keeps us all together and manages all the details that need to be ironed out. And he was in Jersey Boys, in the original cast of Jersey Boys, the original cast of Motown the Musical, and the original cast of A Bronx Tale.
Wow.
He's been in all three of those. And so he is really the heartbeat of our group. And the other two vocalists are myself and Dwayne, and our musical director, Sonny Palladino, who has a show coming to Broadway soon about Neil Diamond. And he, works as a musical director and conductor on and off Broadway, and has for very many years.
Very cool. Well, I wanted to feature everybody because, I mean,
yeah, of course.
You're not a group without everyone.
That's true.
Agreed.
So what is your new album about? Are there particular songs and genres?
Yeah. So our new album, we're really excited about. It's called Old School, New Generation. It's our third studio album. And, like I said, we're available on all the streaming platforms and also on YouTube. And so what it is, it's sort of like our exploration through the old school and then into, us Doo-Wopifying pop songs. So, on this album, we have songs like Oh, Rosemary and Come Go With Me. I also get to sing Shop Around, which is I got to do in the Broadway production of Motown the Musical, which is, of course, one of Smokey's biggest hits and the first hit for Motown Records. But then we also get to go into other songs, pop songs that are Doo-Wopified. We have a tune by Michael Jackson, The Way You Make Me Feel. We have Sunday Morning. We have Rolling in the Deep by Adele, which we love. But one of our favorites that we could do nightly, which is on this album, is we Doo-Wopified a country song.
Ooh, very cool.
And that song is Friends in Low Places. Dwayne actually came up with the vocal arrangement for that. And it's an audience favorite. We started doing it when we were touring the South. Our first time going to Nashville, we thought we should have a country tune that we Doo-Wopified, and it went so well that we just have kept it in the show. And now it's on our third album.
That is awesome. Oh my goodness. So there's something for everybody.
There's something for everyone. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then you're introducing other styles and genres to people from a new perspective where people are like, yeah, I like this. This is.
I mean, that was the goal. We really wanted to kind of, mix things up a bit, but still honor the doo-wop genre, so we get back to the core of what inspired it,
Absolutely. And you guys do a terrific job of it. I wanted to feature another one of your songs here. I know the listeners want to hear some more. Let's listen to Come Go With Me, performed by the Doo Wop Project.
Ladies and gentlemen, quick question. Are you familiar with the Dell Vikings? I know you would be. The Dell Vikings is our favorite doo-wop group for two reasons. One, they wrote and produced and performed great songs. Two, they were one of the first integrated doo-wop groups to really push themselves out into the national spotlight, and for that we love and respect them. Now, this next song is an American classic. I know you guys know it, so do me a solid, help me out, and sing a little bit with me. Ready? Come on, boys. Here we go. Dum 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 be dum 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 be dum 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 be dum. Wow 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 wow. Dum 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 be dum 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 be dum 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 be dum. Wow 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 wow. Well, love you, darling. Come and go with me. Please don't send me way beyond the sea. I need you, darling. So
a chance.
Come, 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 come to my heart, darling, darling, we will never part. I need you, darling, so come go with me. Wow, 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 wow. Ladies and gentlemen, Dave Mann, we love you. Yes, I need you. Yes, I really need you. Please say I love you. Well, say you never, say you never, never.
Never give me a chance.
Love, love, darling, come and go with me. Please don't sound big when you down to see. I need you, darling, so come go with me. Come on, go with me. Come on, go with me. Come on, go with me. Wow, 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 wow. We'll be right back. 1, 2, 3. Dum 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 be 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 dum. Wow 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 wow.
So are you touring for all the rest of 2022 or?
Oh yes, we are
Oh
touring.
yeah.
Yeah, right now we're booked through 2023, which we're very happy to say, especially after the hiatus we had to take.
Oh, yeah.
And we're excited to be coming to lots of different places. Like we're going to Pennsylvania, we're going to Lancaster, Pennsylvania, we're going to Warren, Ohio, and Bay Harbor, Michigan, Buffalo, New York with the symphony up there, Sacramento, Santa Clarita, California, Long Beach, California. We'll be all over in the near and distant future. So our tour schedule can be found on our website at all times, and that's www.thedoowoproject.com. And that has our full tour schedule.
Very cool. Well, we definitely want people to go to your website and
Yeah.
check out where you're going to be, because I'm sure they want to get tickets. This is the kind of show that if you go into with a bad mood, you can't leave in a bad mood.
That's true.
That's true.
That goes for us as well.
There you go. Yeah, imagine it. Well, everybody has not maybe the best day. You could probably get
Right.
on stage going, and you
Yep.
feel better at the end. I mean, that's always good.
It's always uplifting. It's surprising. Even you could be in the worst mood and be like, oh, today's not the day I necessarily want to get on stage, but you do. And by the time it's over, you're like, oh, I feel so much better and I'm happy and I got to interact with people and they're happy. It's the best mood lifter that there is.
And I think the type of show you do, you aren't robotic. I mean, you have to interact. So things probably change up every night, don't they? Or
Always. Yeah, because I mean, I like to feed off of the energy of the crowd, and I always say that it's a party. I'm throwing a party, and I hope you all can just join in on the fun. And it's also fun to see someone who may not be so enthusiastic at first. They're trying to figure out, oh, who are these young guys? What are they doing? And by the end of the night, they're up on their feet dancing. I'm like, I told you, I knew it.
Oh, that's got to be a rush. Is that a rush when you can see the crowd just standing up and they're just?
Oh yeah,
Yes.
yeah. It's the best feeling. It really is.
And there's no robot or technology in the world that can do what we do.
Right. And thank goodness we don't need to be taken over by robots.
No.
Yeah.
It's a live human interaction. And that's, we went through a period where we couldn't do that for a year or 2 years. So it's been so fulfilling and so great to be back in rooms with people, experiencing live music together and getting to see each other's faces as it's happening and sharing in each other's energy. It's an incredible gift that we now get to have a different perspective on.
Yes. I think there's... Oh, go ahead, Dwayne.
I mean, you know this as well, Shelly, but there's nothing like live music, like just listening to our band, they sound fantastic. And, Dominic Nofe has one of the most beautiful baritones I think that you'll ever hear. And Russell's countertenor is nearly unmatched, to be honest. Like just to hear him sing the Jersey Boy stuff is just really out of this world, to be honest. And it's just great to just be out there and perform and just put that out there into the world, because there's nothing like live music, and they're definitely not making music like this anymore. So
that's right.
Well, and I think a lot of people have a tremendous admiration for great performers, and to see performers on stage really doing it live. There's a sense of curiosity. It's like, how do they do that? You really draw them in, Yeah. Which is so cool.
And we'll show you how you do it. You come get a ticket and come to the show.
That's right. Exactly. So where do people find you again?
www.thedoowoproject.com.
Excellent. Thank you so much. This has been really a lot of fun, Dwayne and Charl. I really appreciate it.
For us too. Thank you for having us. This has been a blast.
Really appreciate you having us. Yeah.
This has been an absolute pleasure and an honor to speak with you both. Before we leave, I want to feature one more of your songs. This one is a classic, and I know the listeners are going to love it. Oh, What a Night, performed by the Doo Wop Project, right here on the Truckers Network radio show on tncradio.live. Crank it up, people. It's great stuff.
Ladies and gentlemen, did you have fun tonight? Would you like another song? Oh, what a night we had with you all. We got one more for you. Stay on your feet if you want. We can dance this night out here. Come on, let's make it a party. You know the song. Sing along. Hey, here we go.
Oh, what a night. Late December back in '63. What a very special time for me. As I remember what a night. Oh, what a night. You know I didn't even know her name, but I was never gonna be the same. What a lady, what a night. Oh, I got a funny feeling when she walked in the room. Yeah, as I recall it ended much too soon. Oh, what a night. Hypnotizing, mesmerizing me. She was everything I dreamed she'd be. Sweet surrender, what a night.
All right, boys, are you ready? Here we go. Dwp, let's get it, go.
I felt a rush like a rolling ball of thunder, spinning my head around and taking my body under.
Hands up, it's a party. Hands up, it's a party. Hey, hey. Come on, Russell.
Oh, I got a funny feeling when she walked in the room. Yeah, as I recall it ended much too soon. Yeah. Oh, what a night. Why did it take so long to see the light? It seems so wrong, but now it seems so right.
We love you. Thank you. And good night.
Thank you for listening to another great interview on TNCRadio.live. All of the material you hear on TNCRadio.live on our website, our broadcasts, or our podcasts are copyrighted. There can be no distribution without the express consent of TNCRadio.live and its partners. For inquiries, write us at info@tncradio.live.